Recorder launching. And it's 1 minute before. Do you want me to open the room and you guys can do your little bit of housekeeping and get started?
Sure.
I'll turn off my camera.
Maximize our airtime.
Hi, everyone. Can you let us know before we start if you can hear us, please? We'll just do a little sound check in the chat.
Hi, everyone. Oh, good.
Wonderful. Terrific. Yay for functioning technology.
How we've had to change, right? Like how we'd much rather be seeing your faces in person, but this is still pretty good. So
absolutely. Well, it's 11:30, and so I want to welcome everyone to this Moyo Gems segment at the Chicago Responsible Jewelry Conference. We're so excited to be here and to be virtual with all of you. We are all in different parts of the world, both here in this session, and I know all of the attendees. And yeah, we're excited to tell you the story of Moyo Gems. My name is Jennifer Gandia. I am the co-owner of Greenwich Street Jewelers in New York City, but I'm currently coming to you from Woodstock, New York. And it's my great pleasure to introduce Monica Stephenson of iDazzle and Stuart Poole of 1948 Gems. And they are the distributors of Moyo Gems. Stuart is in the UK and Monica is here in the US. And I'm going to let them say a little more about themselves, and then we'll jump right into learning about Moyo.
Stuart, you could go first if you'd like.
Oh, wow, in a bit of role reversal, that's absolutely fine. That's all about gender balance. Great, well, welcome everybody. Thank you very much for taking the time to come along to our session here today from wherever you happen to be in the world. So I'm Stuart, as Jennifer said, and I run a company called 1948 here in the UK, and we offer fully traceable and responsibly sourced gemstones. And yeah, we're mainly sourcing from Sri Lanka and, of course, for the Moyo project from Tanzania. And we were very grateful and very fortunate to be involved in this project and to be one of the main gem buyers for Moyo.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to work with Stuart. I'm Monica Stephenson of iDazzle and Onza Gems. Onza Gems started about 5 years ago after a trip that I took to East Africa with the film Sharing the Rough, and realized how hard people were working for gems and not really experiencing a lot of the recognition and the financial rewards of the gem trade. And so I built sort of a circular model that 10% gets reinvested back into mining communities back in Tanzania and Kenya, where the gems are sourced from. And then a couple of years ago, we connected with Stuart and Christina Villegas of PACT, and they were working with GIA on an educational project for artisanal miners. And as soon as I saw the booklet that they were distributing and understood that they were doing a pilot with Tanzanian women in the Tanga, T-A-N-G-A region of Tanzania, I got really excited because I had actually been to Tanga a couple of times on my buying trips. Stuart had a connection also to Tanzania at that point. And we actually all connected at the Chicago Responsible Jewelry Conference in 2017 and really started to put our brains together collectively and say, okay, these women are getting education through GIA. It's making a difference in how they're mining, what they're mining, their knowledge of the market. How do we build on that and actually give them a market that would be sustainable, that would not just buy low, sell high kind of traditional model, but like actually support and scaffold these women to be able to mine better, safer, and give them a sustainable, real marketplace for their gems. So that's kind of how Moyo sort of came together. It's a very unique collaboration, and it's based on not just providing a market for their gems, which we're very keen to do, but also actually kind of help them and help them participate as a really marginalized community in the greater global market.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that, Monica and Stuart. And I believe we're going to start with a video about one of the miners. Monica, maybe you can tell us a little bit about her, or maybe we should just go to the video and let her tell us herself.
Yeah, this is Priska, and she was one of the first miners that we met. We actually did a fact-finding kind of dialogue with the women in 2018 to ask them what their challenges are and what they want from a marketplace versus us being, the white saviors coming in and deciding what we wanted to provide. We really asked them and had a facilitated dialogue with the women in their villages in 2018. And we met Priska then, and then she was kind enough to kind of show us her mine, and we actually have purchased some of her gems. I think we have designers who have her cut gems in their hands now, so that's kind of exciting. So yeah, she'll be able to tell her story and kind of what Moyo has meant to her through the video. So I think we can take it away.
Nimekuwa mchimbaji kwa muda mrefu. Ninachimba green tourmaline. Kabla sijaanza kuwa mchimbaji nilikuwa ni mfanyabiashara katika hoteli. Kwa sababu ya biashara yenyewe vyakula vyenyewe vinakuwa haviishi. Niligundua kuchimba kutokana na hapa tulipokuwa kwa sasa hivi. Biashara kubwa iliyokuwa kwenye uchimbaji. Kwa sasa hivi kidogo napata pesa nyingi kwa sababu nikiwa na chimba nyingi kidogo kulikuwa na ile biashara nilikuwa nafanya mwanzo ya kupika. Kutokana unatakiwa uwe na wafanyakazi ambao wanakusaidia kufanya ile kazi. Unatakiwa uwe na vifanyaji kazi, yani vile vitendea kazi. Lakini kusema kwamba labda kuna pesa kubwa zaidi ninayopata labda kwa kunisaidia labda kuwa na maisha mazuri zaidi, hapana, bali ninapata pesa nini ya chakula na watoto. Tunapata changamoto kubwa. Kwanza tunauziwa madini kwa bei ya chini. Ni kwamba unapata madini yako unapeleka kwa block wa mitaani, ukifika kwa sababu tulikuwa hatujui wapi tupeleke, basi inabidi umpe ili upate ile pesa ikaweze kukusaidia mahitaji na watoto. Nategemea hii nani yetu ya Moyo inaweza kutubadilisha maisha. Nimejifunza vitu vingi. Tumefundishwa jinsi ya kujilinda migodini, lakini kwa sasa unajitahidi ukaze moyo wako ili uweze kuyahifadhi, ili uweze kupata kwenda siku ya kuza upate kujikwa kwa mwana maisha. Nipate kutoka panapo majaliwa Mwenyezi Mungu akinijalia. Nategemea kuwa na maisha mazuri ili niweze kusomesha watoto wangu vizuri, nikae sehemu nzuri tofauti na sasa hivi, lakini nikiwa naendelea hivyo kujikita kwenye masuala ya uchimbaji.
That was wonderful. Thank you for sharing that with us. Really inspiring, and I think it gives a good overview as to what the impact of doing this kind of work can have for the miners and the communities of these areas that have so long been forgotten by our industry. So I would love to hear a bit more about what the project has been like, especially through this year, you know, it's been a, you know, tough year, right? And I know there was a market day that was canceled. So tell us a little bit about how it's been going, and then, you know, sort of what the challenges are currently.
Okay, shall I start with that one? I think it was fair to say that we were all really very pleased with how we had made such good progress from that initial trip that Monica mentioned in 2018. And then through 2019, we had our first few market days and really had significant engagement with the miners and got to know them a lot better. And it really started to form a good bond with the communities there. And we were so optimistic for 2020. And we were so hoping to build on what we'd started in 2019. And of course, plans had to change. And so we'd got as far, in fact, as February 2020, where we had our first ethical gem fair in Tucson, where you were, in fact, Jennifer, I think. And so we were promoting heavily, of course, the Moyo Gems there, and making, like I say, such good progress. And then, we had to change how we were going to operate. So 2020, as for all of us, it's been incredibly challenging. But what I drew from how the Moyo project had developed in the previous maybe 18 months, for myself and Monica, since our involvement, is that we had such a good relationship built up with the people, the miners in Tanzania, and the other people that work with us and our colleagues there in Tanzania, that we had different options. And so not only we've been able to keep the project moving and to make good progress and to finally get recently another market day to actually happen, but we also had, I think, because of not having just a traditional gem buyer and seller relationship, I think we have a bit more than that, a lot more than that. And because of that, I think when there were difficulties for the communities in Tanzania, and the ladies like Priska that we just saw, and all the other amazing Tuoma miners, that we were able to do more with them and more for them remotely, because we know them that much better, and we have a much more solid working relationship. So it's not just a buyer-seller thing, and this is, it goes beyond that, I think. So we were able to help them outside of the scope of just the Moyo Gems project, if you like, or the original scope, because of this special relationship. And then we have also been able to successfully trade with them as well in recent weeks, and we're hoping to be able to repeat that going forward. So I think that even in these, what we consider, I think, to be the early stages of potentially a very long-term project, then there's there are really significant benefits and advantages that have come from the way that we're setting things up with Moyo. Over to you, Monica.
You're muted, Monica.
Sorry. So I get frustrated because I feel like we're not moving fast enough, right? We have big goals and we'd really like to accomplish quite a bit more. But when I think back to, it was May of 2019 for the first market day, we now have beautiful gems to show. Those gems are in the hands of designers and some retailers, and they've been designing around the faceted gems. So like, I have to kind of remind myself, like, okay, we are progressing. We did have big plans, big goals in 2020, and clearly in late February that became clear that was not going to be our trajectory. I think one of the biggest sort of paradigm shifts for the women has been the fact that it kind of changes the nature of how they sort of, like the nature of their position in the community. So normally the gems, they would find a small pocket of gems, they would take it directly to the local broker, they'd sell it for essentially a few dollars to the local broker, who then, you know, it changes over and over and over again, like from village to village, until finally maybe 5-7 times later, like it gets to an Arusha or a Tonga, like a more major significant trading center. And then that's where it would go to an export broker, and someone like Stuart or myself would usually see it there. So the fact that we were sitting across the table from these women who had never met anyone outside of maybe their local, very local broker before, and were able to negotiate with an international trader directly. And then we were able to pay her, and then she turns and pays her broker the 5%. She's in charge. She gets to see what the value is, right? She gets to negotiate, and then she has the control over the transaction, whether she wants to proceed or not. And in the original scenario, the kind of traditional scenario, she'd make about 15 to 20% on that total value of the export price. Now she's making 95% because we paid her directly. She paid the broker. So it's a huge shift. And what I was most concerned about when we, you know, can't travel there is, how does that work now if we can't sit across the table from them and actually buy the gems in that way? But to Stuart's point, because we have relationships with a lot of the miners already, like we've actually had dinner like at some of their homes. We you know, we have been to their mines multiple times to kind of see their operations. We've met their families. They'll bring their babies, you know, with them into the trading room. So
wonderful.
Yeah, we have a relationship with them, and we have amazing local partners. So TAWOMA, the Tanzania Women Miners Association, is another part of this collaboration. And the fact that we have packed Tanzania, so incredible people who've been on this project for 3 years already, know all of the ins and outs and the nuances, and know the miners, know everyone involved. We were able to pull off a market day in October remotely. So that's a testament to the relationships that have already been built. So our export broker sat across the table from the women and negotiated and on our behalf. And actually, I'm going to see if I can try to angle my camera.
I mean, that's where I was going next is, okay, so you got the goods, and show us the goods, Missy.
So we have rough. This is actually I just received it last week from the market day that we were able to do in October. So we are just incredibly fortunate that the women showed up. It was 2 days in their village and 2 days in kind of the government building that we've done it before. And to see their faces, like they took some video for us, and like we got to do a little wave to them, but like, again, to know that they're okay, and for them to be reassured that we're still here, we're still buying, we still are interested in their gem and in their story. We have to show up for them, right? Like, so that was really exciting that we were able to pull that off. And to Stuart's point, it's because of the relationships, because of the local partners that we can trust and give those assurances, because there's some assurances that you get with Moyo. So one is that the women were all legally registered to mine before the first market day in 2019. And all of those licenses were double checked by PACT against the government regional office. So it's like a step towards legality, a step towards just formalization of the women. And then we also gave free occupational health and safety training to the women in their villages before that first market day. There's also been some financial kind of, this is a more of a windfall when these markets occur financially for them. And so the idea of like knowing how to manage their money and to maybe hold back a little bit for investment in their business versus, it's a subsistence economy. The inclination would be to spend it as soon as you get it. So just trying to kind of give them a little bit of financial identity, a little bit of financial background as well. So we've been trying to, it's not just about buying their gems. There's also some other things that kind of go into that. And so the challenge with a remote market day is how do we make sure that we're adding value? How do we make sure that we have the same assurances? But because of Pact and Tuolma and their careful records and how they sort of process each miner and the miners who qualify for the program, we're able to kind of pull this off.
It's really amazing, just hearing all of that and all of the work that's already been done. And I think for anyone who's interested in Moyo, having this really comprehensive background from the two of you can really go a long way to helping you sell the gems, and how important that is, right? So that way you can keep buying, right? All that rough needs to be turned into faceted and then cut for jewelers and designers. And I'm so glad you're holding, I think that's a piece of rough, yeah?
Yeah, this is amethyst.
Chunky piece of amethyst.
This is amethyst.
Delicious. It looks like a gumdrop.
Well, yeah. So, and this is what's interesting is the miners, when they have quartz, which is like citrine and amethyst, that they think that they have, because it's big and it's really juicy and colorful, they don't understand that actually the sapphires, are the truly, amazing value, right? But because the quartz is big and chunky, they think that's super valuable. So part of Stuart and my job too is just that gentle education, kind of as we see things too, giving them an idea of this will sell well in the U.S. market, this will not, or UK market, European market. It's just an interesting experience to kind of walk them through value and gem education as well. So.
And so that brings up a good transition to talk a little bit about the gems themselves. So what can people expect when, if they want to buy Moyo gems? What varieties are available? Tell us a little bit, maybe even if you can show us some of the stones that are available. Yeah. And there is a link in the chat to the Gem Boutique, but it might be fun to hear about one or two stones and the miners who mined them, perhaps. Maybe if there's a couple of standout stones that you really love, a personal favorite from each of you, perhaps.
Well, just while Monica gets ready there, I'll show. So this is a cut piece of amethyst. So Monica was just showing one of the rough pieces there, and hopefully on the camera this will come across. So this is one of the amethysts that we bought with one of the previous market days. I'm a little bit jealous actually, because Monica has her rough material already. Mine is still en route to my cutting workshop in Sri Lanka, where at the moment we have to have the stones cut because we don't have those facilities in Tanzania, but that is very much part of our project to try and develop something there. But we do see quite a lot of that kind of material, so the amethyst and citrine, as Monica mentioned. Sorry,
Stuart, just really quickly, what was the size of that? Just to give us a.
That is a 13 carat stone, so it's quite a size. It's probably about 15 to 17 millimeters long. So top to bottom there, it's probably there or thereabouts. I picked some of the larger ones, obviously, for the camera because they're easier to see.
I bought a big, beautiful amethyst trillion from you that I just adore. So, yeah.
And then just this is a good example. I don't know how well the color will come out there, but this is one of the garnets that we find, again, quite a large stone there that you can see. And these ones cut in, like I say, in our workshop in Sri Lanka. So we see a lot of different types of garnet, and I'm sure Monica has some good examples of those. And probably tourmaline is another one that we see quite frequently, and aquamarine as well. So those are probably some of the main varieties. But
That's
over to Monica.
that's pretty much what I have here. Like as rough examples, I'll see if I can get this is Sapphire Rough. This is from Market Day 4, so I'm super excited about this because these are pretty good sized. They're close to 2 gram each, so they will yield gems. Kind of purpley blue. They range from like a lighter aqua blue to like a deeper purple. And this is a sapphire that this is one of the faceted sapphires. So for the Anza representation of Moyo, we have actually focused on using Beth Steer of Michigan. She might even be on here. I'm not sure. She's a really talented cutter in Detroit, Michigan, and she has cut all of the Moyo Gems so far. I don't know if I can tilt this without
spilling it over. Oh,
but like, so sapphire comes out of the ground in every possible hue in this region. There's often some inclusions to them. That's just the nature of kind of their formation and how they work. But the colors are beautiful. So we've had anywhere from, golden yellow to vibrant purple to pinks and blues, like really beautiful sapphires. And you can see those on the Chicago conference. There's a section for, I think, shop. I think they have put the link in.
Yeah.
And you can, there's under Moyo, it's actually our gems under Stuart. And then we have some things under Anza, but Stuart has them under 1948. So if you click on the tabs, it will show you. We also, there's also some like warmer hues. You end up with tourmalines in a lot of different colors, goldens, greens, and then the bright green is actually a Savarite garnet. So garnets in every hue. We actually have some cabochons as well that Beth has.
I love a cabochon.
Yeah, I feel like they glow.
We need to see more designers working with cabochons. I just love how gemmy and juicy they are.
It's like little gumdrops, actually.
They are.
So the really fun thing is to kind of see them transform from the rough, which is gorgeous. I mean, the rough is absolutely beautiful, but to see what they then and some designers actually do work with the rough as well. Oops, this is spinel. So sometimes we see pretty pink spinels. Just seeing what they come from, and then everything is tracked. So I should mention that every single one of the gemstones that you'll see from Stuart or myself, they all trace back to the individual woman or miner who dug it out of the ground. And that is really unprecedented. That's actually quite remarkable. That's not something that really has been pulled off from an artisanal mining, gemstone mining standpoint. You might have greater traceability from larger scale mines, but not so much from an artisanal mining standpoint. So, so when we get them back and we realize this is from Salma, and we kind of, I have a colleague who works with me for Anza and Moyo, Megan, and we freak out. I couldn't do this without Megan, by the way. Actually, Stuart probably couldn't do this without Megan. She's incredibly helpful on our trips, but we get super excited, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe, we got this garnet back, from Salma. So there's so many beautiful gems. It's been really, you can have a great story, but if you don't have beautiful gems, it's not sustainable.
That's right.
We can't keep going, right? So the fact that we have gorgeous gems, we have a new market day that's going to, we put money back into the region, we get the gems back, we get to develop that. It's this is what it's all about, is that kind of constant reinvestment.
Amazing. So we just have another minute left, and I really want to make sure that people know how to follow the progress of what's happening with Moyo, with Anza, with 1948. are you regularly updating your socials? Do you have a newsletter? Tell us how we can continue to follow the progress of this project. And then everyone go and buy these gems. I've got someone in the chat who is spectacular. It's Rachel, I think, and showing us some of the gems there, but you can go experience them in the gem fair.
Yeah, so there's a central website, moyogems.com, and that will, we try to stay updated. That's a joint venture with PACT, and we try to stay updated with that. But websites can be can lag just a little bit too in terms of the most current information. For us, if you follow me at iDazzle, IDAZZLE, and then I might try to type it in the chat really fast, and then at Anza Gems, ANZAGEMS, that's going to probably give you the most kind of current information. We also have the gems available. Thank you, Rachel. We also have the gems available on our website, which is Anza, ANZAGEMS.com. So that's probably going to give you the best, most up-to-date option. But this week, you're able to find our gems also on the conference link.
Great. And I think I saw Stuart. Go ahead, Stuart.
I'm frantically just typing, copying the various links into the chat. Because, as Monica said, I don't have a Megan, unfortunately, but I wish I did. So there are a few links there that I've just Insta, Facebook, website as well, where you can see a bit more of our range. But certainly there are a few of the best pieces on the Gem Boutique site, on the Responsible Conference website. So have a look there first. But yes, you can contact us, and we do also put out a newsletter from time to time. So you can sign up for that on our website too.
Terrific. So thank you so much. And just a reminder to anyone who's looking for to purchase Moyo that you can really only get them through Stuart or Monica. You can't get them directly through Moyo. And this week through the conference is a wonderful time to support the work of Moyo and these incredible miners. So thank you both so much for being here, and we're over, so I'm going to keep it short.
Thank you for coming along.
Thank you. Nice to see you, Stuart. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
See you.